Welcome students. In today's video, we are going to study about phylum chordates in details. We have studied subphylums of phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata has three subphylums. The earlier two subphylums are collectively known as Protochordata and the third subphylum is Vertebrata. Today we will study about Vertebrata in detail. Subphylum Vertebrata is the part of chordate which have well developed cranium. The cranium or the brain box, it is well developed in the organisms of Vertebrata. Along with cranium, these have well developed vertebral column present. Vertebral column is actually the replacement of notochord. In subphylum Vertebrata, the notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adults. The members of Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period only, and afterward it is replaced by this vertebral column. And on the basis of presence of this vertebral column, these are named as Vertebrata. These are also termed as craniata, as cranium or brain box is present in them. So these are the special features of the members of subphylum Vertebrata. Besides these characteristics, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart which may have 2, 3 or 4 chambers. Vertebrates have kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation process. Also, these organisms have paired appendages which may be fins or limbs for movement. Further, subphylum Vertebrata has been divided in two parts, in two divisions. Division Agnatha, which includes organisms without jaw, and division Gnathostomata, which includes organisms with jaw. It means subphylum Vertebrata has been divided on the basis of jaw. Agnatha without jaw and Gnathostomata with jaw. Agnatha are primitive vertebrates. This is the basic feature that these are without jaw and these are having jaw. Other characteristic of Agnatha are that these are primitive vertebrates. The endoskeleton is fibrous and cartilaginous. Notochord is present throughout the life. As written over here, jaws are absent and so are paired appendages. These organisms do not have paired appendages. Internal ear is present. So these are characteristic of division Agnatha. Division Agnatha includes one class. This is called Cyclostomata. The members of class Cyclostomata have eel-shaped body. These do not have scales. These do not have jaws and these do not have lateral fins. Since Agnatha do not contain organisms with jaw, the characteristic of Agnatha is these are without jaw and without appendages. So, Cyclostomata do not have fins and jaws. Scale is also absent and body is elongated eel-like. Mouth is suctorial, round and funnel-like. These are basically parasites on fishes. These organisms have single and median nostril. Gills may be 5 to 16 in pairs. These organisms generally are parasites and scavengers. So this is the characteristic of members of class Cyclostomata. Again, I am repeating the characteristic of class Cyclostomata. Members have eel-shaped elongated body. Jaws are absent. Scales and lateral fins are also absent. Mouth is sectorial, round and funnel-like. A single and median nostril present. 5 to 16 pairs of gills present. And the members mostly are parasites on fishes and scavengers. Example of class Cyclostomata are lamprey, that is petromyzon, and hagfish, that is myxine. Now let's discuss the next division, that is Gnathostomata. Gnathostomata are basically organisms with jaws. It has been divided in two superclass. Division Gnathostomata has been divided in two superclass. Superclass Pisces and superclass Tetrapoda. Superclass Pisces include fish and Tetrapoda includes organism with 4 limbs. Tetra word represents 4 and poda, pod or limbs. So Tetrapoda have a characteristic of 4 limbs. Superclass Pisces. Superclass Pisces includes fish. Study of the fish is called ichthyology. Pisces is the largest superclass of vertebrates. These are the first evolved vertebrates. The body of fishes is spindle shaped, which is divided into head, trunk and tail. Neck is absent in fish. Locomotion takes place with the help of paired pectoral and pelvic fins. These also have dorsal and caudal fins. Skin is provided with scales. Alimentary canal is complete and definite. Respiration by gills. Heart is two-chambered. Excretion may be ureotelic or amniotic, means these excrete their waste in the form of either urea or ammonia. Sexes are separate. Fertilization may be internal or external. Development usually direct without any metamorphosis. Fishes are cold-blooded organisms. These do not show parental care. Superclass fishes has been divided into two classes. Class 1 is Chondrichthyes and class 2 is Osteichthyes. Chondrichthyes includes fishes which are mostly marine, whereas Osteichthyes includes fishes which inhabit all sorts of water, fresh, brackish or marine. In Chondrichthyes, endoskeleton is entirely cartilaginous. Notochord is present. Whereas Osteichthyes contains endoskeleton chiefly of bones and notochord is replaced by vertebral column. So these are the differences between Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. Let's discuss characteristic of Chondrichthyes first. So all the members are mostly marine, carnivorous or scavengers. Endoskeleton is made up of cartilage and notochord is persistent. Mouth is ventral. Jaws are present with teeth. Respiration by 5 to 7 pairs of gills. gill slits are uncovered. No operculum present and no air bladder present. Excretion is mostly in the form of urea, that is, these are ureotelic. Brain is having large olfactory lobes and cerebellum. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. Eggs are large. These are the characteristics of Chondrichthyes. Example of Chondrichthyes includes Scoliodon, Torpedo, Swordfish, etc. Sharks are also examples of Chondrichthyes. Now, we will discuss the characteristic of the second class of superclass species, that is Osteichthyes. Osteichthyes are bony fish, means here the endoskeleton is made up of bones. This group includes fishes which are present in all sort of water. Endoskeleton is made up of bones. Notochord is replaced by vertebral column. Mouth is terminal or subterminal. Respiration by 4 pairs of gills. Gill slits are covered by operculum. Air bladders are generally present. Excretion is ammonotelic, means excretory waste is in form of ammonia. Brain with very small olfactory lobes and small cerebrum. Fertilization is usually external and eggs are minute and small. So, these are two classes of superclass species. If we compare these two classes, we get some points of differences. The very first point of difference is that Chondrichthyes includes only marine fishes mostly, whereas Osteichthyes includes fishes living in all sort of water. The second difference, here the endoskeleton is made up of cartilage, whereas here endoskeleton is made up of chiefly bones. Chondrichthyes lacks operculum and air bladder which are present in Osteichthyes. Also, excretory waste is urea in Chondrichthyes, whereas it is ammonia in case of Osteichthyes. In this case, brain is having large olfactory lobe which are very small in case of Osteichthyes. In Chondrichthyes, fertilization is internal, which is generally external in case of Osteichthyes. Also, the size of egg differs. The eggs are large in size in case of Chondrichthyes, which are very small and minute in case of Osteichthyes. Example of Chondrichthyes are shark, swordfish, Scoliodon, etc. Whereas example of Osteichthyes includes fishes such as Exocoetus, Labio, Rohu, Katla, etc. So, these are two classes of superclass fishes. Now, proceed towards superclass Tetrapoda. Superclass Tetrapoda includes organism having 4 limbs. Tetrapoda. Tetrapoda stands for organism with 4 limbs. So, the first class of superclass Tetrapoda is Amphibia. The term Amphibia means organisms having life form present in both land as well as water. This reflects that most amphibians are biphasic, that is having two stages in life, one aquatic and one terrestrial. It is the smallest class of vertebrates. Amphibians are obviously tetrapods, that's why these have been kept in superclass Tetrapoda. The general characteristic of amphibians are these need air as well as water for their entire life cycle. Head is distinct, trunk elongated, neck and tail may be present or absent. Limbs are two in pair. Some may be limbless. Exoskeleton absent. Skin may be smooth or rough and moist with many glands present. Endoskeleton is mostly bony. Mouth large with small homodont teeth. Respiration by lungs, skin and gills. Heart is three-chambered. A double circulation through the heart takes place. Skin richly supplied with blood vessels. Paired kidneys are present. Brain is poorly developed. Sexes are separate. And fertilization mostly internal in some cases like in salamanders and external in frogs and toads. Females are generally oviparous. Some may be viviparous. Eggs are large with moderate amount of yolk and these eggs are usually laid in water. Larva stage is present which is called tadpole, which changes into adult. So these are the characteristic of class Amphibia. Example of amphibia are very common frog and toad. Then salamander are the example of class Amphibia. Bufo and Hyla are other members of this group. The next class of superclass Tetrapoda is Reptilia. Reptilia is the first class of terrestrial vertebrates. Reptiles are predominantly terrestrial, carnivorous and are creeping organisms. The body is divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Limbs are usually paired and pentadactyl, that is means having 5 toes. Digits are horny and with claws. Exoskeleton is present in the form of epidermal scales. Endoskeleton is bony. Mouth is terminal. Respiration by lungs throughout the life. No gills present. Heart is three-chambered. Third chamber is partially divided. So it can be called as partially four-chambered heart. In some cases, like in crocodiles, heart becomes completely four-chambered. Respiration by lungs throughout the life. Uric acid is main waste product. Main nitrogenous waste is in form of uric acid. Brain is more developed as compared to amphibia. Sexes are separate. Copulatory organ is present in males. Females are mostly oviparous. Fertilization is internal. Development direct. No larval stage and no parental care is found. Example of reptiles are all the crawling organisms like lizard, snake. Obviously, snake is the example of reptile. Lizard is the example. Chameleon, Draco are other examples of this class. The next class is of aves. Aves include all the aerial organisms. All the birds are member of this group, this class. Aves are the organisms which fly in air. Following are the general characteristics. These organisms have feathers as their body covering. So, body is covered with the help of feathers. Body is spindle shaped and divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Limbs are two-paired, whereas four limbs are modified as wings for flying. Hind limbs are in form of legs, which are used for walking. Exoskeleton consists of feather. So feathers are found here to cover the body in the form of exoskeleton. Feathers are to maintain the body temperature. Skin is dry and without glands. Flight muscles are present. Endoskeleton is completely bony. The bones are light but strong. The bones are pneumatic, that is hollow from inside, and the bones have no bone marrow. These organisms, these members have special body shape and shape of bones are also specialized, which help them in flight. The birds have some special characteristics which make them a little different from two previous class of tetrapoda, that is amphibia and reptilia. Respiration takes place with the help of compact and spongy lungs and thin-walled air sacs. The presence of air sacs reduce body weight, which help them in flight. Heart is completely four-chambered. These members are uricotelic, that is excretion basically in form of uric acid. Brain is large and well developed. Sexes are separate. Some birds even show sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism is the characteristic where sexes can be separated morphologically. By looking at them, we can identify the sexes. So some birds show sexual dimorphism, like in case of parrot and peacock. Females are oviparous and eggs are developed by external incubation. Development is direct and parental care is well marked. Members are warm-blooded. Example include all the birds like parrot, pigeon, crow, hen, any bird that you think is the member of this class. After birds, we have the fourth class of superclass Tetrapoda, or you can say phylum Chordata. This is the most advanced class called mammals. Mammals are the most advanced organism. These are mostly terrestrial, air-breathing, warm-blooded organisms. Body is covered with hairs. Hairs are present as exoskeleton. Body is distinctly divisible into head, neck, trunk and sometimes tail. Limbs, two in pair, which are pentadactyl, that is each limb having 5 digits. Limbs are adapted for walking, running, climbing, etc. Exoskeleton consists of lifeless horny epidermal hairs, spines, scales, claws, nails, hooves, horns, etc. Skin is richly glandular, having sweat glands and sebaceous glands. Special characteristic is presence of muscular diaphragm which separates thoracic cavity from abdominal cavity is found in mammals. Respiration by lungs and larynx with vocal cords present. Heart is completely 4-chambered, that we observed in birds also. Heart was there also 4-chambered. Excretion is urotelic. These are considered as most intelligent animals. Brain is highly developed. External ear with ear pinna is present. It is also a special characteristic. Mammals have external ear pinna present. Sexes are separate. Eggs are small and without shells. Fertilization is internal. Members are viviparous. Some exceptions are obviously there, but generally females are viviparous. After birth, young one is nourished by milk secreted from mammary glands of mother. So mother possesses mammary glands. From there the name mammals has been derived. Parental care is greatly developed. So this is the characteristic of class Mammalia. The members are all the higher organisms that you see around, like human beings, cow, dog, cat, etc.